In this video, I resurrect a 1985 Virago that wasn't running, needed a few things because it was sitting a long time. Enjoy. So the 85 Virago 1100 here. Trying to drain the gas tank, get some fresh fuel in there. I ordered a battery. Took the seat off, and there's two bolts. One goes through this reserve tank and one comes from the other side. So, to my surprise, when I popped off the smaller hose, water was shooting out of the reserve tank and not of the hose that goes to the main tank. So I had to take another extra hose, try to catch what I could. So this is what I got. There's about 2 gallons maybe of amber ale. Doesn't smell like amber ale, but it looks like amber ale. Or should I say red ale. Killian's Red, something like that. I don't know. Smells pretty bad though. So I finally, well, here when I shake it, it still shoots out of there. So I don't know how to drain this tank because there doesn't seem to be a hose coming out the bottom anywhere that I can see. Alright, so now that I have both these top hoses off, I was able to pull this tank out, and sure enough there is a hose coming out of the bottom going to the fuel filter and the fuel pump, I guess. So there's still a lot in here. I'm going to try to maneuver this so I can dump it out. Wow, that is some piss water there. I'm surprised because when I opened the top of the tank, I thought it was empty. I really couldn't see any gas at all. But this reserve tank holds about 0.8 gallons from what the manual says. So like when you run out of, you're on reserve and you run out of regular, you still got quite a bit of gas in here. I think I'm going to overflow this drain pan here. Gosh. Let me shake it a little bit. Try to get all the junk out. The tank actually looks pretty rust-free. I don't see any issues in there. So I haven't yet taken the tank off because I did manage to drain that in the reserve. I know there's going to be a little old fuel in the line that goes up from the tank to the filter to the carb. Well, actually, it first goes to the fuel pump, then to the carb. So I suppose I could take this beauty cover off, which somebody zip tied on here, and then drain these lines, or I could just blow through the system and try to drain the bowls here. Let me just see if this does anything. I got a can. This looks like a Phillips screw, strangely enough. And it is. So we'll see if anything comes out of the bowl here. I don't see anything happening. What's coming out of that bowl now? Wow, look how much is in the bowl. But there's no cruddy, white, pasty stuff coming out, so that's good. Wow. This thing is draining itself. Please. Huh. Did I turn the screw out too far, maybe? Alright, so I got a new battery. Just put the battery in. And it wouldn't start. And apparently the reserve switch on here has to be on or the starter won't engage. Don't ask me why. Just one of those things. So I drained the reserve tank and the main tank. Almost forgot. I gotta reattach the clamps on the reserve tank fuel lines. They got two of these from the main tank. They got this real fat one and they got this little one, which is weird that they have such a big giant hose. It's like a 3/4 or 5/8 hose on there. We got a problem. Something leaking under here. What the heck is it? Fuel coming out of the carburetor, apparently. Yep, it's all dripping right down here. Why is that dripping? It's coming out. Coming out of the fuel line or something? Trying to figure out how this air cleaner comes off. Oh, what's all this stuff? Is that a horn? What is that? I don't even know what that is. I was trying. Okay, so here's the issue. There's a hose right here where my finger is, and oh, now I pulled it off altogether. There's no clamp on it. How this bike ever ran without dumping fuel everywhere? There's no freaking clamp on that hose. Alright, so we got two screws holding this fuel pump on here. Oh, some nice white goo on there. Pull this out of the way. And I don't understand how this could just be sitting there. Okay, so I had that hose off. Ran it into a can by cycling the key a couple of times in the fuel pump. Kind of just pumped out whatever was left in the lines. So it's looking a little better. I got a little zip tie clamp on there. And I think I'm ready to try again. She needs the full choke, I guess. Well, maybe the carbs need to be cleaned. So the only thing I found in stock anywhere was this Craig Pocket J right angle drill adapter, but it's actually perfect for doing this in here. I know there's cheaper ones on Amazon, but they are cheaper. So I think this is a slotted the mixture screw here. All right, so the actual ratio is 1:1, so you can count the turns on the screwdriver. And then I had to get just the right size flat tipped screwdriver bit and to get in there. Problem is, the nice thing is this has a lock so the bit doesn't fall out. Unfortunately, the bit is like 1/4 inch too short, and it keeps falling into the holder as soon as you put any pressure on it. So I got the other side. I opened it up 2 turns. It turns pretty easy. The only problem in here on this one is that you got these tubes in the way. Alright, I was tinkering around a bit with this. It's very hard to tell. Like, I had to get an even smaller screwdriver bit, and then I put a piece of plastic in the bottom to get the height just the right distance so it would reach. And I think I got it. Sounds alright now. Choke is fully off. Idle's good. Throttle response is good. I'm happy with that, for now anyway. Take it on a test drive. What the hell just happened? Let's see how... Oh. That shouldn't have happened. Just died, just like that. What the heck? So we got some valve ticking. Obviously need to do an adjustment on the valve. I believe it's the front. And she doesn't really want to rev past about 5,500. And the front brakes aren't doing a heck of a lot. Even though it's got dual front discs, man, these brakes don't seem to be moving. Also, the piston in here, and the slate cylinder here, master cylinder, they're not doing nothing either. It's like it's stuck. Yeah, so I got back from the ride, and I'm seeing all this weird blotchy, streaky stuff, and it's kind of like grease, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And then I look at the brake shoes, and there's like this black gunk all over this shoe here. It's pretty thick if it's grease. I don't know what the heck it is, but it's nasty. And I'm like, well, where the heck did that come from? Where the heck did that come from? I have no idea. Alright, since this caliper was the one that had the greasy junk on it, I'm going to take it off 2 12mm bolts right there. Let's just yank this thing out and see what the heck is going on. What the heck? Why is there all that grease in there? Probably ruined the brake shoes now. And why is this so tight? This must be the side that wasn't releasing. Yeah, so when I squeeze the brakes, only this piston on the right is moving. The one on the left didn't do anything. It's not even budging. Okay, I was going to get the pads out, and I see these hex screws here, these pins going through, and I'm like, I couldn't hammer them out, so I was like, oh, alright, I'll just get a 5.5mm and turn them. No. Now I did some damage. This plastic cover, where it says uncover for pad service, you take that off after the fact, and then under there you have some clips, which if you take a screwdriver and you pry these up, they're like little keys, whatever, little snap locks that This one, by turning the freaking wrench on it, I mangled it up. So I did some damage already. So I got the old brake caliper off, got the new used one on there. I had to reuse the one copper ring because I didn't have any. Then I went to look at the reservoir up here, and somebody really boogered up these threads because either they weren't using the Japan Phillips type screwdriver or they were just corroded, I don't know. But I did actually go out, order this from Amazon. It's Japan #2, which is different than a US #2. I don't know what makes it different, but everything I've been told is telling me that it's different. So let's try this one out and see if I can get that cover off. Alright, well, these are completely destroyed. I mean, I did use the Japan screwdriver and that did not do anything. I don't think I'm centered on the... I don't know if I'm centered on the thing. I don't want to melt the aluminum. I don't know, let's see what happened here. Yep, that's coming up. It's actually spinning. Alright, so you don't need the nut. The nut just complicates things, I guess. Yeah, it didn't really do any damage. A little bit of paint. Actually, it's probably not even the paint, it's just soot. I don't know how hot that is. Alright, that's one. I just gotta get the other one. Alright, so let's bleed the brakes here. I got an 8mm. We're gonna crack this open here. Got a half a turn on it. Let's do some pumping here and see if it does any good. Oh, I'm starting to feel it. That's weird. Now all of a sudden I got pressure on it. Huh. Let's take this cover off. I hope no leaves blow in, because the wind is actually pretty heavy today. Yeah, that's some really dark old fluid in there. Try to work that out before I add anything else. I don't know if it goes down. There's some bubbles coming up. That's the thing, because the brake lines are running vertical, so any air in the line usually just works right up to the top. I don't see anything going in the jar. I probably didn't open this enough. No, nothing's coming out. There ain't nothing coming out of there. That's weird. It's open far enough, that's for sure. Well, that's strange. Let's see if it goes down anymore. I would like to get rid of this junk. I wonder if this... something wrong with this brake piston here. It's just not doing nothing. Interesting, when I squeeze, you can see a little bit of fluid trying to squeeze out by the threads. I can't really show it. It's trying to ooze out of the thread instead of coming out of the hole. Apparently there's a blockage. Right, so I took like a wire tie, real fine wire, and I cleaned out and sprayed out with some carburetor cleaner and got that valve going again. So now let's see what happens if we start pumping. We should be getting fluid out. It's not coming out of the line. Just make sure you refill this before it gets too low. Last thing you want is to put more air in the system. Oh, I see it coming. There she comes. Wait till we get all the brown stuff out. Try to get some clear. She's squirting a little bit of air out of there, making a mess. DOT3 is all it wants. Let's keep going. See some bubbles in the line. Try to keep the line going vertical so the bubbles will go up instead of being forced back in. It's looking better. Yeah, we ran quite a bit through there already. How are we doing here? Yeah, it's getting low again. Oh shoot, I'm squirting it everywhere. I don't see any bubbles on this side, but I do see the old brake fluid, which I'd be glad to get that out of the system. Let's refill this puppy. Maybe I should wipe out that residue in there too. Alright, so it's got a good feel to it. I think we're okay on this side. I shut the valve. Now we should probably do the other side as well because there's a crossover. And if you did get air in the lines, it could possibly have ended up on the other side too. Alright, I got the bike vertical now. Took it off the side stand just to check the final level here so I can fill it and close the lid again. And like you can see, if the bike's leaning, it's very hard to see because it's clear now. But it's low when I'm upright. It's definitely low.